Welcome back to Breaking Through, Rompiendo Barreras, in our program where we share real stories, life of people, things that are happening, and we're very excited to have you back again in our program, and we are so happy to be together with my friend Ingrid Paz. How are you doing, Ingrid?
Hello, Miss Janice. I am doing lovely, and I look lovely. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God! Yes, we do look lovely.
Yes, like always.
Yeah.
So how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
It's a rainy day, but it's full of blessings.
Always.
You know,
It's pouring down on us.
Yeah, that rain is falling on top of us, and it's because we're having a wonderful day.
That's right.
Especially with them.
Yes. And in this lovely rainy day, we have a very special friend with us today. My dear friend Monica Barrett.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Monica, for being with us.
Thank
you.
you.
Look beautiful.
Thank you so much. You too as well. Thank you.
I have been looking at her earrings. They're beautiful.
I know. I was like, man, she's always matching. This girl, she knows how to roll.
Thank you.
But thank you, Monica, for being with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And
Thank you
the
for having
most
me.
beautiful thing is that we have a very nice topic that we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
And you want to know what it is?
Ay, Dios mío. Help us, Lord.
Help us, Lord, but it's very good and very important. We're going to talk about today about substance abuse, a very important topic for today.
Yes.
In
And that's
this
a topic, Janice and Monica, that a lot of people don't talk about.
That's right. Yes.
And because we see the need in a lot of families, even in church.
Yes.
Because, we're talking about this problem going all around the world.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about substance abuse. So Monica, can you tell us a little bit about you first before we go into the topic? Who is Monica? And
Okay.
what do you do for a living?
Well, thank you so much for asking. I am a psychotherapist. I've been a psychotherapist for over 17 years. When I first came to the United States, that was like 30 years ago or so, I had to look for a new profession. So I attended school. I had to go from scratch again, meaning I had to go through a bachelor's degree. And then...
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Austria, but I grew up in Germany.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, thank you for asking. But I got snatched off by a soldier overseas, and that means we came to the United States together. So I went from scratch and got my bachelor's degree in North Carolina, and I went ahead and also pursued a master's degree with the Webster University in counseling. And then after that, we moved. Of course, since my husband was a soldier, we moved eventually to Mississippi, and then from Mississippi to Northern Virginia. And throughout that process, I pursued a doctorate in behavioral health. And with that, I have worked in clinics, I've worked in substance use residential centers, I've also worked in private practice, and it gave me a smorgasbord of experiences. So I am currently working for Prince William County, and I am in the substance abuse program, and that's how we actually sort of connected.
Yes. I am very happy that you are here, and since I met you, I have so much to learn from you because you really know what you're doing, and you're basically one of my mentors. I see your life, I see how you came from another country and you started from the bottom, but you worked yourself up.
Right.
And you are in a very in a field where there is a lot of need.
True.
A lot of need in our communities of assistance in substance abuse and other stuff, of course, but today our main focus is going to be the substance abuse. So what is substance abuse for those people that are probably asking themselves, okay, what is that? What is substance? What is abuse? Why is it abuse?
Yes,
what is this
people
substance abuse? Because a lot of people don't know, or maybe parents out there
That's right.
that have no idea what this is.
Well, first of all, I have to stand corrected, because if we have some other professionals watching us, they would say it is no longer called substance abuse. It is now, according to the DSM-5, which is literally said the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition. It has now classified it as substance use.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's no more abuse, but the use
Yes.
of the substances.
We still
Okay.
call it abusing a drug or abusing alcohol, but you know the term is now substance use.
Use.
To
Okay.
to stand corrected.
So that's very important for everybody to understand. That is the use of those substances.
Correct.
So what are those substances?
Substances can be, one of the substances is alcohol, even though it is legal. Some of the signs when you abuse alcohol would be, you know, having seizures, having physical problems such as withdrawal symptoms, dizziness, passing out, blacking out. And again, we are all different when it comes to alcohol use. That's why it's so important that children should not be drinking alcohol,
Yes.
because it, you know, the development of the brain, especially for males take a little bit longer than females.
Okay.
To develop.
Yes, it can be up to age 27 for male and age 23 approximately the age for women.
Woman, yeah.
So as you can tell, it will affect the brain if young children will be drinking at such an early age. So
Very important.
That's very important because right now, you know, we see it in school where parents may not, they probably do not even drink alcohol, but these kids are being offered alcohol at school, and it's important for them to understand that that will affect their development in life, not only in their brain, but in every other area, because then they get into an addiction.
Yeah.
They start with little,
and
but
then
they will end
continue.
up with an addiction.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, Monica, that you said that alcohol is legal, but just because it's legal doesn't mean it's okay. Can you explain a little bit about that? Because right now we're having big issues with not just alcohol, but marijuana is one of the biggest thing right now. That okay, it's legal, but it could be legal, but that not necessarily mean it's good for you.
Yeah.
correct.
That's right.
So explain a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Well, I actually want to tell you that the biggest issue right now is heroin or any opioid. You know, and we have heard about fentanyl, which is very prominent right now on the news, and we had a lot of ODs on a daily basis. But with that, we're going back to marijuana because people think it's okay, you know, it's tolerable, and it's, even though, you know, we're so close to DC where it is actually legal.
That's right. Yeah, I think it is.
So it's pretty confusing for some individuals. You know, why can't we do it if our next door neighbors are doing it?
That's right. I heard that already.
Yes.
And
And with that, again, we have to think about the development of the brain, and not only for the young adults, but also for us as adults. It can affect us. Now, here it is. Marijuana is not just a depressant; it's also a stimulant and an hallucinogen. So if you are genetically composed a certain way, you could become paranoid. And you know, some of the individuals that are smoking marijuana, we call it in terms of weed, you know, some of them call it Mary Jane. They may get the munchies and start eating a lot, you know, and some get hallucinations or some other things, you know.
So there are different effects.
Different effects.
To every type of person. Not everybody will feel the same.
Genetically predisposed.
It's very,
Because genetically, you know, everybody is different, so it will the results will
are
be
different.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's interesting because they don't know it.
Right.
They all probably are trying it, and they don't know that everybody gets a different effect, and it's dangerous to them.
Very dangerous.
Yeah.
And then some of the individuals have mental health disorder on top of it, what we call co-occurring disorders.
Yeah, the cold.
So if somebody has schizoaffective disorder or schizophrenia and smokes weed or smokes marijuana, they can develop paranoia, you know, have panic attacks. So it's very important.
Which is the population that we work with. You know, that they have schizophrenia, they have all these mental illnesses, but they're abusing all these other substances.
Correct.
So what's happening is their stage becomes worse.
Yes.
And then it's hard to get out of that situation because their chemical or their brain or whatever, it's like all over the place. So it's hard to get them, you know, to stable them.
Right.
Yeah.
And just real quickly for other folks that are listening to this, if you have a mental health disorder plus using substances, and you do get medication, prescribed medications from a physician or a psychiatrist. If you are, if you are using substances, alcohol and drugs, it's like an eraser. It just takes it off. So please do not use substances.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
If you're having other medications.
Yes.
Because sometimes, they're young, peer pressure, sometimes they just want to do it, and they don't understand the
consequences.
That they can have, and then things happen to them and they don't understand.
Correct.
And they get frustrated, sometimes depressed. So,
Monica, what would you say that are some of the reasons why people use substances? Why? I know you've been in this field for a long time, and there's probably not a specific answer, but what would you say there maybe like the 3 main reasons why people start using drugs or
that you
alcohol? What's going on?
Well, often, and I have worked with children and adolescents for over 10 years. Wow. What I have seen is peer pressure. That's where it usually starts. And, once your brain connects with it, it's like having a hard drive in a computer. Once you start that up, you probably need a virus scan to get that back out, and we don't have that.
Yeah.
But that's usually one of the factors. Another one would be pain, and that's what we're facing right now with the opioid addiction.
Yeah.
So many times I see people getting a prescription for opioids after an accident, or many people have chronic back pain. And your brain will go, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. And it turns into an addiction. They go from opioids to heroin. And now, of course, fentanyl, in order to just, have some relief of their pain.
Relief of their pain. And it's interesting that you said that, because sometimes we think that the substances are only like the drugs, the cocaine, the marijuana, even the alcohol. But there's also pharmaceutical, like medications.
Correct.
A lot of people use that as a relief as well.
Yeah,
so it could be an aspirin.
Right.
If you abuse of that aspirin, or if you abuse of all these other stuff, then that could become a substance, right? Is that what am I understanding?
No, you're absolutely correct. And I just want to alert you also, for anybody who has children and adolescents, the Adderall. Adderall can also be abused. It can be pulverized and snorted. So if you see your children having Adderall in their closet, be careful.
Oh, interesting.
That's interesting. And I have seen teenagers that maybe they can get alcohol, but they get drunk with NyQuil. They get drunk with all these other things that we have in our
cough medicine.
Yes. So how can we help the parents to be alert on helping their children stay safe? Because I know it's a tough one, because you talk about that pressure in school, but we can be having those things at home.
Yes.
Yeah. So how can we protect our family from not abusing it? Or what would you say as an expert to a parent? How do I protect my kids? How do I protect that teenager or that child?
And again, every household may be different.
That's right.
It's very, there's no general answer to that. I would say be very attentive if you have a teenager.
Attentive.
Yeah. Look into the medicine cabinets. Know how many medications or how many pills you have in there. Yeah. You may even have to put a line on your liquid medications just to
kind of see where it's at.
Just pay attention to the children's behavior.
That's right.
What's awkward.
Yes.
You know your child.
Something is not normal.
If something is not, trust your instinct, your gut. If you know something is not right, you just have to pay attention. And it's okay to ask, hey, are you okay? Watch their facial expression, watch their body language. Eyes is a big
eye contact.
Just see if something is going on with the eyes, and then of course slurred speech or something like that.
I like what she said. Don't be afraid to ask, because a lot of parents or family members, they're afraid to know the truth.
Yes.
And they want to ask, but they really don't move to.
Mhm.
And it's true. People should ask, not be afraid.
Yeah, because you know that comes with the with feeling in denial, you know, as a parent. Oh no, not my child.
Right.
You know, that's basically the whole story of everyone. You know, oh my child will never do that. You know, we will never have to go through that because we think we are raising them in a good environment. So it is very important that as parents we are aware that these things are affecting our teenagers, that these things are affecting our children, but to not be in that denial stage where we think, oh no, it cannot happen to me. It will never happen to me, because we see it all the time.
I also think society, like when we were young, life was run differently.
Yeah.
And now to today, things are different. The internet, the exposure,
Easy.
what's happening, things seem like they're going faster.
Yes.
And it really affects our youth and our kids.
That's so true.
What would you say, Monica, that are some of the signs, I know time is running fast, but what would be some of the signs that as parents we can kind of see on our children if something is not right? I know you said, you know, the eye contact, ask questions, but what would be other things that we, like, I don't know, things that parents, maybe they're afraid to ask, but if they're seeing certain things, what will be some of the behaviors that can give us the you know, the sign that something is not right?
Yes, if you see your child, you know, staying in bed, so that it's similar to depression. You know, they don't want to get up. Their hygiene is less than. That you don't see them taking showers as they should. Maybe slurred speech, or they have a headache, or you know, starting to be moody, being very, very moody because of the withdrawal symptoms. You know, if there is really something going on with substance use, I think those are total giveaways. They want to isolate, don't want to talk to you. So those are pretty the giveaway signs, you know, general giveaway signs that something is cooking.
Is something.
Something is in the...
What about in an adult? Because yes, we see it in teenagers, but how can I help someone that is in an alcohol abuse, or this person is using a lot of alcohol? How can I help her or help him if we tried, as you know, because these questions come out all the time. We try to help people, but sometimes they don't want the help. But how can we be a support to them, even though they don't want directly our help? How can we help them?
Oh, that's a difficult one. It's the most difficult one we have in the substance use field. We call it the stages of change, which is a theory actually. We call it the pre-contemplation. That means the individual has heard about you know, having issues with alcohol use, but they don't see themselves as an alcohol abuser, right? Then we go into the contemplation stage where somebody told them, okay, there's a problem. And they may say, okay, we do have a problem. And they may actually go to an AA meeting if you suggest it, or go with somebody and say, yeah, maybe I do have a problem. Then we have the preparation stage, in which the person is actually ready to go to a counselor or to an AA meeting or some other support meeting, or actually listening to you. Thereafter is the action stage. They're actually going to AA meetings, a counselor, or some other support. And lastly is the maintenance stage, where they continue to do the right thing so they can stay clean and sober. So that's the good thing. But it is really up to the person once they see it, that they are doing it.
Because it's hard to get from that one stage to the second to accept this is my situation. Because like you say, you know, a lot of people that are on all of these substances, they're using all these substances, even alcohol. They're like, no, I don't have a problem. Like, you have a problem, but I don't have a problem. You know, alcohol is not a problem for me. So it's hard to get that person into the second stage of, okay, maybe I do have a problem. So what would be like a conversation to if a client comes into your office, and you know, because you know their records, we do lab works, we do all these stuff, and we know they're under something, and they're denying it. They're saying no, me drugs. I remember one time I heard someone said that he came, had a lab exam done, and it was positive, and he was like, no, that couldn't be, and he walked away very upset. Then he came back with his girlfriend. His girlfriend was so mad. She was like, what do you mean that was a positive? It should have been negative because it was my pee. Like, she confessed it was her pee and not his. Of course, this didn't happen in our job, but it happened at another private practice. And people are in this denial of, I'm going to continue doing this, but I don't want to accept that I have a problem.
Right.
But that one client is coming into your door, your office, sitting there, and you know that they have a problem. How does your conversation start in that person accepting that they do have a problem? How do you go about?
Again, every case might be different.
Yeah.
What we as therapists use, we call it motivational interviewing skills.
Oh, okay, yes.
So instead of like maybe the family members or their spouse, they would go criticize or judge, we try to not do that. And we try to be encouraging and say, look, maybe you don't see it yet, but I want you to look through, we have some techniques in order to help them to see the light.
That's right.
And again, the biggest problem is that, and that's what I'm hearing from the clients when they come to me. The feedback is that my parents, my spouse, my family members are, basically doing the judgment, the criticism, and that kind of sort of keeps them at bay. They want to isolate and not see the truth. That's why they stay in denial.
Okay.
So, really, I would say to everybody who is listening, try to change that because it's not going to help.
So words of encouragement.
Yeah.
Some more words of encouragement, more than confronting.
Right.
Because sometimes, you're right. Sometimes we go with the attitude of confronting. Okay, you have a problem. Like, admit you have a problem.
Yeah.
But that is not a good technique. It's better to be there to comfort them and to help them. But when are they going to realize that they have a problem? Because we could be encouraging, but when do you say enough is enough? I can be positive all the time and trying to encourage, but you see that their life is going in a very wrong path. And we see it all the time, I have people that I know that are very close to my heart, and I see it and it hurts me that I'm sitting here not able to help them because they don't want to help themselves. I don't have a problem.
Right. Well, when it comes to the point that you do have to have an intervention maybe, or you need what we call send them to a higher level of care, which means a residential program. I've worked in residential programs before, and that, not always is the key, to change or help that person to see what's going on with them. And sometimes it takes 1, 2, 3 attempts.
Yes.
But that may be it, that they actually have to go to a residential program, a 90-day program, and the norm is for most insurance bases is 30 days or 28 days. 28 days. Unfortunately.
In a residential program, when you say a residential program, that's basically when people go and stay inpatient in a place.
Right. They have nursing care. They have a psychiatrist there, so a physician, and staff that stays there as well.
Them.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Very interesting. Well,
I really like what she said. Words of encouragement.
Yes.
I guess, but a lot of patience.
A lot of patience.
Also, I like what you said. You gotta help them, guide them through the light.
Yes.
Because sometimes they don't want to walk towards the light.
Correct.
They're afraid of, also sometimes I think that people know the problem, but they don't want to really show and say, I do have a problem. Because they're afraid of what people think. But no, it's true. It's true. And I know this is going to help a lot of people out there. They shouldn't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of addictions, not only drugs, there's
many addictions.
We're talking about even playing a lot of video games is addiction.
Correct.
The TV could be an addiction.
It can suck you all day long and you can lose your life of being productive and just being hooked to the TV. And we all need to be careful with addictions.
That is so true.
And how can, just so we can end this, Do you think addictions could be treated? I mean, is this treatable?
Yes.
Other than just medication? I know you do the therapy part.
Yes.
What other options or what other resources out there for people that can go to so they can get the assistance that they need and be treated for these addictions?
Well, I would always recommend, if you don't have insurances, to go to your local community services board. If you do have insurance, please, call your insurance-based providers and see if a counselor can talk to you, and then the counselor can always evaluate and assess if that person needs a higher or lower level of care. Besides going online, looking for AA, NA, Smart Recovery, there are so many resources out there.
Yes.
Smart Recovery, for instance, has a blog. You can go on there. You don't, and if you don't believe in the 12-step, you can do that. So there are many resources online that you can actually find.
A lot of help.
Okay, awesome. And at the end of this program, we will put the numbers for, or maybe some of the resources, so people can see that there are resources out there, that you're not alone.
Right.
If we want to say to people that are probably going through they're using any substances, we want to say there is hope, there is a way out. Maybe like you said, community service or resources on the internet, but you can also do it on the spiritual way too. Look for spiritual support, pastors, ministers, people that can support you and help you come out of this situation, because it takes a lot of courage to admit and to to say, yes, this is what's happening and I need help. So, whoever is listening, if you know someone, maybe it's not you, but you know someone that is going through a difficult time where they're using drugs or they're using alcohol, please share this video and share the resources that we're going to provide for you. And if you need further assistance, send us an email. We can try to get resources for you, because we want you to get better. We don't want you to get stuck in that situation, because there is hope, and we believe that God can break every change, and even the change of addictions, He can break them and make you whole.
That's right. And you're not alone. There's help. Like you, maybe there's thousands of people out there going through the same thing, but this is your day to take a decision and search for help, as everybody has in certain part of their life. So don't stay quiet, move and seek. We are here to help you too.
Amen. And Monica, what can you say just so we can end at this program? How can you close?
I would like to address everyone who's listening that this is not an embarrassment. I know this is very shame-based. Don't let that stop you from seeking help. There are people out there, it takes a village to help you sometimes, but you have to reach out your hand, and somebody will grab it and help you. But you have to say something. I encourage you, just do it.
Amen.
Just do it.
Just do it. I like that. Just do it. I think that's a very powerful closing. Just do it. All right. So thank you once again, and we will have a part 2 to this program, because I know it's a very, very deep topic. But we want to say thank you to everyone, and please keep watching. We have more for you. God bless.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.